Welcome. This is the Crimewatch rewatch. Thank you for joining me. It's been another busy week. I've been working on a new format for my videos. It's a lot more effort than in my previous ones, but I think if it comes off, it'll be brilliant. But fingers crossed. Still got to finish that. Anyway, so the Crimewatch rewatch. So basically, we've never seen it before. We go through an old edition of BBC's Crimewatch, and then I will tell you what information I have been able to find on that. Whether the case has been solved, if it's unsolved, or don't know. But as ever, I do always put out a warning that these are real crimes with real victims, so we do need some degree of sensitivity. But before we start, okay, so this is the edition broadcast on the 17th of October 1985. So just to see what was happening in the UK at that time, the major headlines: Margaret Thatcher was being put under pressure to increase sanctions on South Africa by other Commonwealth nations, and a near rerun of the Profumo affair. Trade Secretary Cecil Parkinson was being investigated for a breach of the Official Secrets Act. Sports news: England had booked their place in the 1986 World Cup thanks to a hat-trick from Gary Lineker and a 5-0 win over Turkey. The number one single in the UK at the time was The Power of Love by Jennifer Rush. And number one in the UK box office, Desperately Seeking Susan. A film I've never seen, but it was number one at the box office for like 8 straight weeks. So a lot of people must have seen it. If you've seen it, let me know if you think it was any good. Okay, so with that, we'll just start the video. Before I do that, a weird little thing I've noticed: I can't move the slider on this. So I've never come across this before, but so basically, if for whatever reason this video stops working, I guess we'll just have to restart it right from the beginning. Let's hope it never comes to that. Here we go. Cue the Crimewatch intro.
Hello and welcome to the programme where you can help solve
crime. Let me know if it's
live, of course,
too loud
or real,
too
based
quiet.
on actual witness statements, and we hope that you may see something you recognise. As always, detectives behind me are waiting for your call, and our main number 018118055.
Yes.
And as always, you may need a pen and paper.
In fact, last month, well over 1,000 viewers rang us with offers of help. And before we show you this month's reconstructions, here's what's developed since then.
As a direct result of last month's Crimewatch, a man has now been charged with murder. Roy Page, a 61-year-old tobacconist, was found dead at the back of his corner shop on Thursday, the 18th of July. The shop was in Bedminster in Bristol. He'd run it for 10 years.
The first murder case Crimewatch can claim to have been solved.
Viewers 50 miles away in Portsmouth thought they recognised something in our reconstruction, and they rang to see if they could help. Their information led to a man from Port Talbot being arrested. He's now been charged with the murder of Roy Page.
And we had an unforeseen development. Last month, we asked for your help to catch a man who's robbed 11 building societies in the south of England.
Take the tins out of the safe and open them.
I can't.
I remember that.
The cashiers have got the only keys.
You can use the spares that are taped on the back of the door.
Well, despite some helpful information, police haven't caught him yet.
See,
But thanks to your calls, they have disturbed what they call a hornet's nest of other crimes which might have gone undetected. And one man has been arrested in connection with a substantial international fraud. Back in June, we asked for your help in tracing this man, David Beatles, who accepted £168,000 for machinery he never delivered. Crimewatch viewers helped track him to the West Country where he was arrested.
I don't think I found anything on him. I'll have to go back and check on that one.
Passing sentence on him, the judge said, of all the evils for which television is blamed these days, this is not one of them. In this case, Crimewatch has given a very useful
well, at least he
service.
was caught.
Or rather, Crimewatch viewers have. The first of this month's reconstructions features an armed robbery. There are at least 3 gunmen, and finesse is not their hallmark.
Yes, armed robbery. They're always the more interesting Crimewatch reconstructions.
Prepared to shoot almost indiscriminately and at point-blank range. The story starts with the theft of this car from a garage in Tunbridge Wells. Within the next few days, it had turned up in south-east London. July the 1st, Brayards Road in Peckham, and this blue Rover had become a local nuisance. It's been parked here for 5 days, and a resident reports it to the police.
It's A111 NKN. Someone will move it, will they? Okay.
And later that same day, the car was moved, but not by the police.
Convenient timing.
The next known sighting of the Rover was 6 weeks later. That's mid-August, parked here at Wimbush in Milton Keynes. But
Hi,
now
Claire.
the number plates are different. Nearby, 2
Claire,
men
I need
were
to
seen
invite you
enter the
back
site
on
where
again.
Marriott's are building a large electronics factory. And a third man, perhaps a lookout, was noticed outside the boundary fence. At 8:20 a.m., a Securicorps van arrived to deliver wages. At about the same time, the site engineer became suspicious about those strangers.
Who's that chap in the red hat there, you know?
No, I don't.
Just standing around.
What about these two?
I haven't seen those before, no.
Securicorps had been making regular early morning wage deliveries to Marriott's for several months.
Securicorps.
They'd established
Always
something
getting attacked.
pattern, and the waiting strangers were obviously expecting the van to drive straight into the compound. Today, there was a change of plan, and the van pulled up outside.
I think maybe Securicorps wouldn't have been robbed as much if their guards had guns. You know, they're always at a disadvantage.
Open it! Give me the keys or you're dead! Move!
Cool, Claire. We will work out a time. To be fair, it probably I probably wouldn't be able to do it until the new year now anyway.
Although he'd been shot, the foreman got up and went on with the chase and shouted to a lorry to ram the getaway car.
Yeah, that reversing lorry, that was never going to work.
The Rover turned down Pitfall Road, then went left into Carter Lane. The police aren't sure if there were 3 or 4 men in the car. It was here at the Kiln Farm Industrial Estate at the back of Tesco's where they abandoned the Rover. It's a mile away from the robbery.
Surely they wouldn't have left the man behind.
Detective Superintendent John Chilsley is the man who's now after them. But first, tell us something about...
There we go. A daring armed robbery in Milton Keynes. Okay. Yeah. Guns and excitement. Let's hear what the police detective has to say on this.
But the extraordinary bravery of those building workers are quite remarkable.
They're very brave men indeed, but their action was one I would not recommend, because those two workers who tackled the gunman were very lucky not to be killed.
Indeed. There was, of course, the driver of the spherical van who was shot but we didn't show that.
That's right.
Now, the man who shot him was the one with the yellow...
I have an update on that.
What do we know about that man?
We've made up video fits of two men. The first one is the man, as you say, who shot the driver and the worker. He is about 30 years of age, 5'8" tall, slim build. As you see, he's wearing a yellow hat and glasses, and at the time he was wearing overalls.
Okay, now let's try and take those glasses and that hat
Bob the
from
Builder
him and see what happens. And there he is, about 30 years of age.
30 years of age.
Right, and you see you've got a second video.
The second one was the man who
a
climbed
young
into
Donald
the
Trump.
cab of the vehicle and threatened the guard to hand over the keys and the cash. He's about 30 to 40 years of age,
Adrian
5'10", again slim build, wearing glasses, but he was wearing a black leather jacket and dark trousers. And we believe that glasses were in fact a form of disguise.
And there he is without the glasses. Does anyone recognize that man? The third and possibly fourth man you don't know, and you haven't got descriptions or good enough descriptions of them.
That's right.
What about the car, though? That's been all over the place, isn't it? Starting in Tunbridge Wells.
The car started off being stolen in Tunbridge Wells on the 27th of June. It then was seen in Peckham on the 1st of July.
It's a well-travelled car.
And from there, it next appeared in Milton Keynes on the 15th of August, on the day of the robbery. We're obviously interested in the period between the 1st of July and the 15th of August, wanting to know where that vehicle was and did anybody see it.
And of course, sometime between those dates, the car numbers changed.
That's correct.
From A111 NKN to B5.
Almost like it might not be the same car.
There is a reward out on this, I gather.
There is a reward for anyone who recognises those photo fits.
Hey, I can
evidence that leads to a conviction. There's £5,000 reward.
John Childerley, thank you very much indeed. The number to call if you can help, 01 811 8055. Remember that reward. You can speak in absolute confidence to a detective, or as always, you can ask for a BBC researcher. Or you can call police in Milton Keynes direct. Here's their number, 0908 678 787. 0908 678 787.
Okay. Sorry, Sue. Right. Okay, so for this one, robberies can be a little tricky to find info on. But for this one, I couldn't find out whether the police did catch this gang of killers, but the two people who got shot by them, Derek Billingham and Jerry Higgins, they actually ended up being awarded with a Queen's Medal for Bravery. So that's pretty cool. And you can't really see him, but as you recall, Nick did just mention that the Securicud guy who got shot as well, Mr. Cudmore, that's him with him there when they received their bravery awards. So don't know if they ever caught up with them, but well, at least they did get something from it in the end for their bravery. All right, so we'll move on to the next case.
Over the past month, police forces from 3 counties have been involved in a massive murder inquiry, the hunt for the killer of 3-year-old Leonie Cornell.
Yeah, this is another disturbing one, I'm afraid.
Or Leonie Keating, as she's become known. The investigation has been made more difficult because of the vast area involved. Leonie disappeared from the seashore
news
caravan
story
park
in the
in
UK
Great
at the time.
Yarmouth on the 13th of September. Her body was found near Mildenhall a few days later. Police have linked her murder to other attacks in East Anglia. 3 years ago in St Osyth, Pauline Coe was taken from her caravan and found unharmed, again in Great Yarmouth. This June, a man tried to kidnap a 14-year-old girl on the same caravan site where Leonie stayed. And tonight, police are able to reveal a fourth attack in the series. On the 27th of July, a man tried to abduct a young woman from the South Deans caravan park, again in Great Yarmouth. Well, the officer in charge of the operation to find this man is Detective Chief Superintendent Eric Shields. Can you tell us any more details about this fourth attack now?
Yes, this young woman was taking a shower at 7 a.m. on the Saturday morning, the 27th of July, when a man entered the shower and tried to abduct
That's how
her
you know
with a
it's...
she screamed and he ran away.
Now, this was an attack not on
Even
a child,
BBC
but on a
thinks it's too
36-year-old
disturbing.
woman. How sure are you that those crimes are linked? That crime is linked with the other cases and with Leonie's murder?
All the crimes have been at seaside caravan sites. The clothing worn, a camouflage jacket, has been used on 2 occasions, one in June and the one in July, and the brown car has been used on 2 occasions.
And in 3 occasions, of course, girls were taken from caravans.
That is so.
So I'm assuming the volume's all okay for everyone.
The brown car now.
Yes, on the last 2 days, we've had a woman come forward who's described a Ford-type car, an Escort or Cortina, leaving that site at 10:30 p.m. on 13th of September 1985. We feel that is the time that Leonie was taken from the caravan, and a child was seen in the back who was described as sobbing hysterically. The car was speeding faster than a car would leave that site.
And do you think the child who was seen in the back of that car was indeed Leonie?
I
Volume
think
of the video is quite low.
Now, on 3 occasions, there were very similar descriptions given by witnesses of the man involved, and one of the witnesses has given us a video fit. Here it is. Can you give us a description?
Is that any better?
Yes, all 3 descriptions that have been given are the same. He described as 25 to 45 years of age, with brown wavy hair, which may be greying at the sides. He has got a brown moustache, and he's wearing on 2 occasions a camouflage jacket with dirty jeans and trainers.
Now, to sum up, what information do you need people to come forward with tonight, and how important is it?
We desperately need anybody who was on that site who saw that car leave at that particular time to come forward, and any person who knows a man who dresses like that who drives a car. We must find this man. He may strike again.
All those attacks were very, very close together.
They were.
The brown car is crucial. If you can help, please do ring us here on 01 811 8055, or you can call Suffolk Police Headquarters direct on Ipswich 625 800. That's 0473, the code for Ipswich, 625 800.
And now the Crimewatch.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I'll try and sort the volume issues, but okay. But for this case, I have got quite a bit of information on this one. So eventually, Leonie Keating, this is a solved case. Her killer was a guy called Gary Hopkins, who was convicted for life in June 1986 for her murder, along with 2 other abductions. So Hopkins, he had a long career as a petty criminal. He got caught in a strange way. It was by Constable Paul Wright. He was just carrying out a routine interview with, just really to eliminate him. But he just knows that details he was giving him just didn't seem to add up. First, he claimed that he hadn't been at that caravan park, but then he said that he did, and then he said that he didn't have a car, and then it turned out actually he did. I think in their report, I think they said it was a brown Rover. I think the detective said, and it was actually a brown Vauxhall that he owned. So he did get. So yeah, he was convicted for life. So that's a good outcome. But it gets a little strange after that, because it seems David Hopkins, he had a common law wife, Janet Hopkins, who was intent on still having his baby, and wanted to go through an artificial insemination route. The prison said no. And now Gary Hopkins, at some point, he actually changed his name to Xavier Themis. Okay, and he was applying for parole in February of this year. Now, I haven't been able to find out whether that was successful, but my working theory is if you can't find that out, then I guess that means that he might well have been released earlier this year. That's just my feeling. I don't know if that is the case. Okay. All right. So now we go on to the incident desk. Okay.
Incident desk. Here are Constable Helen Phelps and Superintendent David Hatcher.
First, some positive developments from crimes we've already covered this year. In January, a viewer in Dorset recognised something familiar in this appeal.
And finally, a sticky problem for thieves in the West Country. They're probably trying to get rid of 31,000 cans of stolen Silver Crin hairspray, and all of them fairly new to the market.
The cans of hairspray were in a stolen trailer in a man's farmyard.
That's a very good point.
5 people were arrested in connection with the theft. All were found guilty and received a variety of jail sentences and heavy fines.
In March, we joined these images together from 2 separate armed robberies using the Crimewatch video fit process.
I guess maybe it was turned
It
down.
gave detectives a complete picture of a man who'd robbed 15 building societies. 2 weeks ago, he began a 9-year jail sentence for crimes which netted more than £18,000.
And in August, we featured a £500,000 armed robbery of a security van near the Crime View pub in Oldham. Police have now recovered most of the money and charged 8 people in connection with that robbery.
And now this month's cases. The first is a murder in broad daylight on a busy London street. Just before 3 o'clock on Wednesday, the 21st of August, 2 men robbed this Security Express van at the National Westminster Bank on the corner of Old Oak Road, Acton. They got away with over £16,000, but not before security guard Sid Dundon had been shot dead on the steps of the bank. Witnesses got a good look at the 2 robbers. One is described as black, stocky, and in his 20s, and he may well have been carrying a black Adidas bag. The other was white, about 5 foot 10 inches tall, with a fresh complexion. Tattooed on his right arm, a bikini-clad woman like this.
I mean, that's quite distinctive, isn't it?
Dots with writing on the bikini bottoms. This is the crash helmet he wore for the robbery. It was later found dumped near the getaway car. It's a Grand Prix make in black with gold trim, and when new, it would have had a Phil Reed sticker here. And of course, it wouldn't have been damaged like this. The helmet was found with these black vinyl and cloth green gloves. You can see they're a bit torn now. So if you recognise this damaged crash helmet, give us a ring and perhaps solve a murder.
Next, a series of clues.
Okay, so that's bank robbery and murder of Sid Dundon. Fortunately, I haven't been able to find out whether they did catch these thieves. And all I could find was that this TV appearance, it did lead to 40 to 50 calls for the police. So it got them a lot of new leads, but yeah, I can't say whether it was solved or not, unfortunately. Okay. So moving on.
That could help catch a rapist. In our film, a policewoman from Sussex plays the part of the victim. The reconstruction begins at the Bolney Crossroads, where the A23 London to Brighton road crosses the A272. It was 3 o'clock and a woman was hitching on the slip road leading south to the Brighton road. She was wearing a beige cardigan and a long green skirt. A car stopped within a few minutes. It was a red hatchback, possibly a Ford Fiesta.
Hitching.
They travelled south down the A23 for about 6 miles.
but then turned off just north of Pycombe towards the Devil's Dyke, a local beauty spot.
Seems like hitching was
It was just a mile
thing to
further
do
on,
in the
near
80s,
the
but
Brighton and Hove Golf Club, where she was raped. Her
really
attacker,
dangerous,
believed to be
especially if you're a
around
woman on your own.
25, about 5'9", with short brown curly hair, was wearing dark blue heavy cotton jacket trousers. We also know he has bad acne scars on his face. He told the girl he was a lorry driver and that he's recently split up with his girlfriend. And we know he smokes Rothman's cigarettes. But perhaps this is the most important clue.
Rothman's cigarettes, I
The
think
first
she
aid
said.
box. And it lay in full view on a shelf on the passenger side of the car. Perhaps you know someone who fits our profile and who drives a red hatchback. If you do, ring us.
Our next case is a particularly...
All right, that one. Yeah, rape's always nasty to cover, and you can never get many good leads on it because you don't have names to look for, understandably. So yeah, I couldn't find anything on this particular case, but in my search, I did come across this. This was a survey carried out by Woman's Own magazine, which 6 out of 10 women favor castration for rapists. Which Woman's Own described some of the results as horrific, appalling, and disturbing. So yeah. Woman's Own seemed to be very surprised by the lack of sympathy for rapists there.
mean theft. Back in March, the parishioners of St Andrew's Church, Bedford, began work on this old Land Rover chassis. Months later, they were ready to present the results of their efforts to the Reverend Hall Spears, who flew in from his mission in Madagascar, especially to collect the Land Rover. Everything looked set until Friday the 27th of September, when the Land Rover was stolen from Little Staunton Airfield near St Neots. It was a left-hand drive, and its registration number was ARO 700X. On its side, the words "Gift from St Andrew's Church, Bedford" were clearly visible. Villagers in Madagascar badly needed that Land Rover. If you've seen it or been asked to respray it, give us a ring.
A regular visitor to...
Okay, so this one, the stolen Land Rover. Yeah, I couldn't really find anything. I could just find the story about the original thefts. Yeah, just confirms what you said. It was going to be sent to Madagascar, and the purpose of it was it was going to be used as transportation for locals to hospitals. And, they would have been very necessary in some of these. Yeah. There are a lot of disco adjacent results. I didn't want to have too many.
Building societies throughout North London has so far stolen over £13,000 since the end of August. He's struck 10 times to date, and in 5 cases he's been caught on the camera. Our first picture of him was taken on the 31st of August at the Nationwide in Harringay.
He does a good
2
line
weeks
in
later in
hats.
Camden, the Leeds Permanent had a visit, but the cashier refused to serve him. Next, it was a Nationwide in Holloway. Unbeknown to him,
you like
the
a
camera
hat,
caught
don't
his
you?
reflection in the glass. He claims to be armed and demands money from the cashier. Here at the Leeds Permanent, he got away with £1,800, minus a bob or two. But the best picture was taken just 6 days ago in Hampstead Garden suburb. He's between 25 and 35 years old, about 5'8" tall, and has a varied taste in hats.
Finally, on the incident desk this month, cast your mind back 20...
That one, it's a building society robbery, so if you've been following The show a while, then you know what that means. That means we are going to the disco. Yep. Never. There's never going to be anything else. As soon as you hear the words building society.
Years to the heyday of British football.
Giles.
Here's ones for the football fans.
Quicksall. Oh, and there's present for Quicksall, who's got number 3.
Albert Quicksall's goal helped Manchester United through to the 1963 FA Cup final. United beat Leicester to win the trophy, and Albert Quicksall, as the winning player, took home a gold medal as a personal reminder of victory. All Albert's medals were kept on his wife Anne's charm bracelet, which was stolen from their Manchester home on Monday the 9th of September. The bracelet had 4 medals on it, all engraved A. Quicksall. Most precious of all was a solid gold 1963 FA Cup winners' medal like this, with its distinctive shield featuring 3 lions. Then there was his Division 2 Championship medal. This one's a base metal replica of the gold original, bearing the inscription, the Football League Champions Division 2. And look at this finely detailed Silver League representation medal. 2 like this were stolen. The market price for all these medals is very low, but to the Quicksalls, they're priceless. If you've seen them or anything else on this month's incident lists, please give us a call.
They won it in
the number to ring if you
2022.
can help is 01811 8055. 01811 8055.
Yeah, Albert Quicksall. Not sure how that's said. Holloway Stu. Yeah, so Albert Quicksall, he passed away in November 2020. The one-time British record transfer fee of 45,000. Fortunately, his medals they were never recovered, yeah, he wasn't able to claim on the insurance for them. So yeah, he went through a lot of financial difficulty, and yeah, he ended up becoming a scrap dealer. But yeah, anyone knows where his medals are.
Detectives have been baffled for over a year now by the death of a London woman, Beverly Trendle. Police found her body in her flat about a month after her death. She'd been stabbed.
Oh, I do have to give a trigger warning on this one. It's mainly because of the police detective. Yeah, he uses some not very acceptable racial language.
Beverly's diary and some of her personal letters were missing. Exactly when she died is not certain. What is known is that from Halloween onwards, October the 31st last year, Beverly wasn't seen again. Why she died is a mystery too, unless you can remember something which could lead police to her killer. Beverly's mother, Betty, agreed to appear in our reconstruction in the hope that something might jog your memory.
You just feel so cold inside, you know, it's such a dreadful thing to happen, and not knowing what's happened or who's done it.
It's very strange,
this is the awful
case.
thing about it, I think. She didn't flit about with a lot of people and get involved in different things. You know, you just can't understand why.
Beverly Trendle lived in a council flat on this estate in Northolt, West London. When she moved here 4 years ago,
The lady they
she'd been
have
very
playing
pleased to get a place of her
Beverly
own.
Trendle in this.
Beverly's
I'm
flat
sure
was
I've seen her
very
in something else
compact, the way
before.
she'd worked it out. Everything was worked
So,
out to
yeah, if anyone
a
does
definite degree,
does
you know, so that she
recognise
had
her.
everything just where she wanted it, and there was nothing sort of out of place, really. She had this large book, like an exercise book. I think she would have put in it the things.
Yeah, I couldn't find out
particularly from day to day,
who this actress is,
or
but I'm
something
sure I've
new
seen her
had
in stuff before.
occurred, she would put it in there, that sort of thing. She was very precise, and she did enjoy her privacy very much. This is the reason that she never told people to casually drop in. She was like a different person in Spain. I don't know, as soon as she got there, she seemed to change completely. The sun, she loved the sun, and she loved to be sort of casually dressed and sort of just wander around.
¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo está usted?
She definitely would have liked to settle in Spain, and I think
How are you?
really this was it. She wanted to get her Spanish to perfection. So, of course, she decided she would take these lessons.
Buenas tardes, señorita.
Yeah, she does.
Buenas tardes, señorita.
The weekly lessons took place at her Spanish teacher's house.
Look familiar.
She had booked one for 6 o'clock on Wednesday, October the 31st, Halloween. She didn't arrive. Her movements throughout that week are a mystery.
You like to repeat them straight after me.
Police do know that on the Monday, she started a part-time job for a cleaning company.
It's your first day here as well, is it?
Yes, it is.
Still half asleep. It's that bleeding early. It's the worst thing about this job.
I'm trying to get an evening job. Mind you, the traffic's not bad this time in the morning.
Well, you've got a car then?
Yeah, it's old, but it goes.
I wouldn't mind an evening job.
I'm going
She
for
definitely
an
has a
interview at Hillingdon
sitcom
Hospital
sort of
on
look
Thursday.
about
I
her.
think there might be something going at Heathrow.
Mind you, evenings. I wouldn't like to think I was losing my evening.
No, well, there is that about.
The Byron pub is just round the corner from Beverly's flat. She was also seen there that week. The barmaid was Vivian Starsmere.
2 halves of lager, pineapple and orange, please.
She remembers taking that order from a man in his 30s who was having a drink with Beverly and 2 other people. None of her companions that night have been seen since.
Brushstrokes.
Pubs were a place of often
Yeah,
meeting
could be.
somebody or just going to dropping in with somebody, but they weren't somewhere that she went sort of all the time or even say once a week.
Isn't he lovely? You can always see his beard gut in photos. He says it's the way he's sitting.
But it looks all right to me. I'll bring some of mine in tomorrow if you like. Who's that then? Well, I got quite a few of my bloke in Spain, Pepe, because I haven't been over there since May. Actually, I've got a new boyfriend. Going out tonight for a drink, as a matter of fact.
What's he like then?
Exciting.
Well,
New boyfriend.
I haven't known him only a few weeks, but he's older than me.
What, about 40?
Yeah. He's not bad looking. He's got a really nice personality.
Where's he now? And I suppose he's taking you out in his big flash motor tonight,
Ah.
isn't he?
No, I'll take mine.
Not bad looking. That's a backhanded
yourself.
compliment.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
But Janet Swan didn't see Beverly again. In fact, she was possibly the last person Beverly spoke to. We know she went home that Wednesday after work. She always used to park her car so that she could see it from her flat.
White beetle with a red door. I mean, that's quite a recognisable car.
It could have been that afternoon. Certainly, it was one day around then that a neighbour remembers seeing something that surprised her. A rare visitor in Beverly's flat.
All these curtain twitches.
Early that evening, children toured the estate, playing Halloween games. But at Beverly's door, there was no answer.
Really, I haven't actually seen trick-or-treaters in years now.
I feel now at this stage,
Never
if
really
something
caught on
can be
over here.
done, I owe it to her for her sake, and also for maybe somebody else. Who knows?
Well, Detective Inspector Roger Parsons has been in charge of this investigation.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously I'm going to let him give his piece, but again, I am going to reissue my trigger warning here. You know, it was the 80s. Yeah, you'll know it when you hear it.
For the past year, and still no clue, for example, as to who those people in the pub were.
No, we've carried out extensive inquiries on these people, and they haven't yet come forward, and they could be very important witnesses, and I do ask them, if they see this programme or people know them, ask them to come and contact us at Southall Police Station.
Could we have your description of them?
There was two men, aged about 30 years. We have not a lot more description. They were just about 5'8" average, but with them was the coloured girl. She's a half caste, but very attractive with an afro-style hair, and I feel sure she would have stood out. It was the 80s.
What about the man who was seen waving at Beverly's flat window? Any leads on him?
Again, we have no leads, and this is a very important clue, because Beverly kept her flat to herself, and to allow a man into the flat would mean that she knew him well. And again, I ask him to come forward if he sees the picture of himself, or if people know him, to notify us, please.
And no description of him at all?
Again, about 35 years, grey hair, swept back, and as I say, quite attractive. That's
and
all
the
we have.
diary, is that a very important clue, the diary and the personal letters that went missing?
This diary is very important. It went missing. It's never been found. This is a mock-up, but Beverly kept every item that she did during a day in this book. And without a doubt, if we found this, it could well solve this crime.
Now, there's also some mystery surrounding Beverly's car.
Evening,
Her white
Rob.
Volkswagen was being driven down Yedding Lane, Northolt, very near where she lived, seen the day after it's thought that she died. And it wasn't parked in its usual position in the car park when her body was actually found. So how much significance do you attach to that?
I attach a lot of significance to it, because as you can see from where the car's parked, Beverly couldn't see it. And one thing she always did, she parked the car opposite her kitchen window so she could see it, because it was her pride and joy. And she can't be seen from that window from her flat.
Can you think of any reason why she should have been killed?
None at all. I've been on the case for a year. I feel I know Beverly like a sister. She was a nice girl. She had very few friends, but those friends, they liked her, and there is no reason why this has occurred. And I ask people to come forward and help us on this inquiry.
Yes, we need the people in the pub, and we need the car, and we need the man in the flat. If you can help, give us a ring on 01 811 8055, or ring police direct at Southall Police Station. The number there is 01 900 8147 or 8148. That's 01 900 8147 or 8148.
Now, some faces you may recognize.
Okay, so here we go. The case of Beverly Trundle. Again, apologise for the racial language. It was a different time, but so unfortunately, this case it's still unsolved. Unfortunately, it was reopened as a cold case a few years back, but it doesn't seem like there's been any new developments on it. It's very strange. There doesn't seem to be any obvious motive. It seems like most likely suspect would be whoever this new boyfriend was. They stole the diaries, because presumably, they would have his identity written in them. So those were very likely destroyed. Unfortunately, it's still an unsolved case. Okay, so moving on.
Recognise, and if you do, please let us know. With this month's photo call, David Hatcher and Helen Phelps.
First on Photo Call this month, detectives want to talk to this man, Thomas Mooney, about a murder outside a London pub. It happened at the Artichoke pub in Camberwell Church Street, where a man was shot dead just after 10 o'clock on Tuesday, the 28th of May. Thomas Mooney is 23, 5'11" tall, and has fair hair. He's of Irish descent, but has a London accent. If you've seen him since May, or know where he is now, please ring us.
Next on Photo Call this...
Okay, so this one's Thomas Mooney. Don't know what happened, but I have been able to find what it was all in connection to. So basically, yeah, it's all to do with a gunman who shot down a guy called Mr. Stephen Elliott. So I don't know if Tom Mooney is the shooter that they were looking for, or if he was just a potential witness to the crime. But yeah, so that's all I've been able to find out in this particular case. This one.
This man who's wanted by police forces in 3 counties. He left this picture behind at a bank in Chester when he tried to cash a number of stolen travellers' cheques on Friday, August the 30th. The photo was on this Belgian national identity card, naming him as Michael Stefan White. So he could be a tourist or a foreign businessman, or perhaps just posing as one. Chester police think he'd been in the Hampshire and Dorset area in mid-August.
Yeah, I've actually been in that pub too.
Johan Leon
Used to have friends who lived in
whatever name he uses, if he slips you his calling card, or if you know him, give us a ring.
Police in Gwent are anxious to trace this woman, Christine Lane, who's been missing for 16 months. She was last seen at a home on the Gare estate in New...
Sorry, nearly missed it. Michael White, the identity guy. Yeah. Disco, back in the disco. You know, because yeah, sucks. But yeah, you don't have much to really go by because we don't even know what his real name was. So yeah, very hard to confirm. Now this one,
Newport,
Christine
on the 6th
Lane.
of June 1984.
This is a very odd
but
one.
none of her family have heard from her since. Christine is 35 years old, 5 foot 6 inches tall, with brown hair and a scar on her left cheek. If you've seen her or any of her other photo call faces, please let us know.
And here's the number if you...
Okay, so Christine Lane there, woman who disappeared, and this is quite a strange case. Yeah, so basically she originally disappeared in June 1984, but her husband didn't report her missing for 9 months, because apparently he said that her just disappearing for a long time, that's just normal for her. So he didn't think her disappearance was a big deal. And then eventually yeah, she did turn up. You know, she was alive and well. She was living in London. And yeah, her husband Tony Lane, his reaction was he just wanted to find her so he could divorce her. So yeah, a bit of a strange one, that. Don't know. Shirley Valentine, indeed.
You think you can help? 01 811 8055. Again, 01 811 8055.
Our last case is a robbery, and it's one police think may involve a gang who've
Robbery.
been responsible for several other crimes. The victim was a businessman, Andy Christian, who owns a company in Liverpool that runs coach trips throughout Britain and Europe. A couple of months ago, he was attacked and injured, and it's the unprovoked use of violence that makes it so important that this gang is caught. Our reconstruction begins 2 weeks before the attack, when, perhaps it was just by coincidence, his company was broken into.
She was very on the Crimewatch Part 4 in the paper.
On Thursday, the 1st of August, Andy Christian was making up wage packets
I've been that
and the
newspaper
foreign
stories from the
currency his
Sun,
coach
though,
drivers
so
would need for their trips to the continent. Andy spent 10 years building up his company, Amberline, from a single minicab to a fleet of
some
luxury
important
coaches.
context to give on.
He's something of a workaholic, and he was still in his office when the night watchman came on duty. Andy's offices are close to Speke Airport. There's a company garage and a 24-hour petrol station. His home in nearby Woolton is about 10 minutes drive away. He's lived there in an old converted lodge house for 15 years. That Thursday evening, as always, all business calls to Amberline were diverted
Yeah,
to
it
the
is
old
now,
lodge
isn't it?
house.
The old JLA.
Yeah. Can I have your name and address, please?
He does have a nice house. And it's sort of this workplace as well. It's a bit weird. Oh my god, he's watching Threads. Because, you know, that was cheery viewing in the 80s.
They escaped
What's the point
with
of dogs if you're just going to have that big
£16,000.
gate in the way?
2 weeks later, on Friday evening, Andy was getting ready to leave work at the end of a busy week. He'd not had time to put his takings in the building society, and because of the recent break-in, he decided to take the money home.
Yeah, because that's the safe thing to do.
He left Amberline shortly after 7 o'clock. 5 coach loads were off to Spain the next day, so he intended to be back at 3 a.m. to see them off.
Coach journey from Liverpool
He'd
to
been to the city centre to
Spain.
host his
Oh,
pools
that's gotta be
coupon.
nasty.
The new football season began the next day. He finally reached home at about 10 to 8, but someone was waiting for him.
That looked like he was hitting his own guy.
Get his wallet!
That's quite the gusher he's got there.
Leave me alone. The money's in the briefcase. Oh.
Well, you don't generally see much blood on Crimewatch.
Where's the car keys?
They're on the table.
Which way do we go? Just go!
The officer
That
hunting those
sounds
men
like a
is
living
Detective
nightmare.
Inspector Jeff Harrison. Inspector, first of all, let me ask you about with Christian.
All right. Yeah, I've got some quite important things you should know about this one, but we'll let this guy, trying to think who he reminds me of. But we'll let him give his little bit.
His condition.
Yes, the physical scars have now healed, but the mental scar will remain forever. He suffered a vicious attack. I remember it for the rest of his life.
I mean, he offered no resistance, yet they attacked him quite strongly.
They did, yes. Nasty
Now,
attack.
was it just coincidence he'd taken all that cash home that night? Could they have known
Well, since the first burglary, he took the money
Well,
home.
you got to
because he
presume
wanted
they
to
would
pay
have
the drivers
known.
out on the Saturday morning. So that was the second Friday they had taken so much money home.
Right, I take it he takes precautions now.
He's completely changed his security system.
Right.
He's now
I'm
using
guessing it was
the
actually
services
quite a
of
common
drivers.
habit for him.
Another
Because they were
coincidence,
waiting
was
at
it,
his
the break-in
house.
2 weeks before the assault?
No, from inquiries we've made and information we've received so far, we believe that these three men are part of a group of 10 or 12 men in the southern Liverpool area who are committing similar offences.
A gang of 10 or 12?
That's what we believe so far.
Now, how can viewers help find who these people are?
Well, we're after information. Stolen in the second attack was
Yeah,
the
I think
gentleman's
that's
wallet,
pretty much nailed it.
with the initials JAC in gold lettering. That wallet contained £3,000 in £50 notes.
Now, presumably the wallet would have been discarded after they took
JAC.
the money.
Note those
So, and we'll hope
initials.
for information regarding its whereabouts. Yes.
Okay, so wallet with JAC or those letters removed from it. And what else have you got now?
Also stolen from the attack was the gentleman's Daimler car key ring and 4 car keys.
Right. So anybody who's found that discarded anywhere. And the money that was in there, the £3,000, was that in any set denomination, or are you just looking for a lot of money?
They were all £50 notes in the wallet, and we're hoping for information that anyone seen used in the area spending £50 notes in public houses, off-licensed shops, etc.
Now, as we said in the film, he was an hour late or so getting home that evening because he'd been into town. So presumably they'd been hanging around waiting for him. If people had seen anything suspicious on the 16th of August, what would they have seen?
Well,
what
we hope
people
that
are you looking for?
it's a busy junction. 5 main roads join on top of the hill, and these men must have been there for at least an hour before the gentleman arrived home. And we're hoping for information regarding the sightings.
Okay, there's his home, the lodge, junction of Beaconsfield Road and Church Road in Woolton, and you can see it's not far from Amber Line coaches. There is, of course, a reward being offered.
Yes, this is a vicious attack with hardened criminals, and Mr. Christian has offered a reward of £2,000.
Right, well, there you are, £2,000, no questions asked. If you can help us find these people, help the police arrest them. If you think you can,
yes, it was a mistake.
8055 018118055, or ring Merseyside Police at Belle Vale Police Station. That's Liverpool 777 4283.
Yes, I wasn't supposed to be sharing it yet. It's okay. So 50 quid notes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a £50 note. I presume they do still exist. I was going to say about this one. Yeah. So, Andy Christian, the head of Amber Line coaches. So yeah. So from what I can see, yeah, I found stories about his attack. As far as I can tell, yeah, his attackers were never caught. But I'll tell you, you shouldn't have much sympathy for the victim in this case, Andy Christian, also known as John Christian, because John Christian was a paedophile. Yeah, he was sentenced to prison in February 1998 for sexual abuse of 11 boys at a children's home between the years of 1967 to 1985. So, and another business that he ran, yeah, he breached health and safety violations, which led to the death of one of his workers. So, yeah, so with that information known, you might now be wishing that his attackers had beaten him a little bit more. So I think that's that's basically it. So let's let
That's
them
051 777 4283.
finish their little bits.
All the numbers we've given you tonight are on CFAX as usual, and they'll be there all this week on page 186.
Yes, bring
if you
back
can't get through
CFAX.
to us or you don't have access to a phone, please write to us. Here's the address: Crimewatch UK, BBC Television Centre, London W12 8QT.
Bad guys on both sides
And
then.
finally,
Yeah,
an
I
urgent
guess.
appeal from detectives involved in a murder hunt in West Yorkshire. This laundry ticket was found 10 days ago in a car boot, and with it was a body, that of a man called Sandy McClelland. Now, the ticket is
Yeah,
tiny, it's about 2
couldn't find
centimetres
anything
square, and
about
it's
this.
salmon pink in colour, with the
I
marking
actually
F
forgot.
quarter
So
20/6 on it. If
we'll
you
just call this one a
recognise that
disco.
ticket, please do ring Leeds Police 0532 432228. That's 0532 432228, or of course ring us here in the studio. That's it, except to say we'll be back with the Crimewatch update at 11:35. I can tell you we have some very, very strong news coming in, particularly on that robbery in Milton Keynes. We'll tell you about that at 11:35. Just to add a familiar word of comfort, we've shown you some nasty crimes tonight. If they give you the impression it's not safe to go to sleep, please do take heart. Latest figures show, in fact, that in real life, unlike television, less than 5% of crimes involve any violence at all. So it really is rarer than people think. Don't have nightmares, do please. Sleep well.
We'll be waiting for your call. For the moment,
there's a name for that effect where people think the world is more dangerous than it actually is because of what they see on TV. Really, Crimewatch is one of the shows that actually feeds most into it. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, that is a real thing. Anyway, yeah, so that's it for this edition of the Crimewatch rewatch. So I've got something. It's called conservatism. Yeah, okay, that's that is a fair comment. It still happens now. Was there a thing there this week about it was one of the reform people saying how dangerous London is, but actually statistically speaking, London is the safest that it's ever been. So it's just one of those things. So hopefully I should have a new video at some point this week. Trying a new format, which I'm really hoping comes off. It takes a lot more editing than my previous videos required. So I'm sort of hoping that the gap between my dreams and my editing abilities aren't as wide apart as they very probably are, and hopefully I should have a new what's it called, a new No Blue Box Allowed coming out. Probably release that next Sunday. But yeah, hopefully I will be back next week next Saturday for another Crimewatch rewatch. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time. And don't have nightmares. End.